COP, people are discussing about the great problem that the world is facing now, which is called the climate change concerns. I'm here with the Gender and Climate Change group, and we are here to make sure that there's a gender perspective in everything that we talk about.
In this COP, we are trying to integrate more intensely the gender aspects of climate change into the policy. We are trying to lobby our parties, our government negotiators, and the UNFCCC process to be much more sensitive on gender issues. The COP process itself is so complicated, but really what we are hoping to do is to make governments and the decision makers in general, we're trying to make them understand really what happens on the ground with the kind of policies that they are promoting.
Nosotras, en lo que hemos conversado en Bolivia, es que nos parece importante que los países de Europa, de Norteamérica, trabajen en lo que es mitigación, traten de bajar sus emisiones de dióxido de carbono y que ayuden, cooperen en proyectos en el sur. Lo que nos importa de estos proyectos es que no estén a cargo solamente de ONGs del gobierno, no importa a cargo de quién estén, sino que en esos proyectos sobre todo se hagan proyectos de investigación, proyectos de adaptación, donde se tome en cuenta, donde se priorice la participación de la mujer y sobre todo su experiencia, su relación con la tierra, su relación con los animales, ¿no? Entonces, que se tome en cuenta esa experiencia de las mujeres, ¿no?
This is a great learning opportunity as there's lots to learn from here. The group which I'm part of, they are from every part of the world with diverse experiences and some great knowledge behind them.
Most of the impacts that are related to climate change are also related with women. Women are the ones that have to be in charge of, in many countries and societies, to feed their children and to get water for them and to take care of a fire. And so many times, I mean, climate change, deforestation, plantations are affecting the water resources, the food resources.
Well, GenderCC, Women for Climate Justice, is an international network of women and gender experts, people who work in NGOs, in women's groups, people who work in universities and do research, some people who are in government. A network of women and gender experts that collaborate to exchange knowledge and to influence policy making.
Our intended structure is to have focal points in different areas, and these focal points should be the knots of a network, which is working on national and local level and transferring the knowledge from these levels to the international level and back.
I have been nominated as one of the focal point people in Southern Africa. And in South Africa, we are in a very opportune time now to be able to include gender in the policy making. It's still a big issue. The communities just don't know about climate change. They don't know how they can feed information. Policymakers need to go onto the ground and listen to the people, because there's also some strategies that can come out from the local communities that can feed into the policy.
We function in a way that we try and be present and loud and clear in any meeting, conversation or publication or media that might influence or make decisions on climate-related matters. basically what we do around the conference with the Women's Caucus meetings, with the side events, with press briefings, and in particular with the conference today, is to build our own capacity so that we all get very confident talking about the issues. We know the issues, we say A, B, C, D is what makes this gender sensitive, and X, Y, Z is what needs to be done. And that is something that's a learning process for all of us.
These are the questions we want you to work on. What has to be done to gender mainstream into climate change policy? Who can do it? Who's actually going to make the change? Who are those people? Who should be addressed? What are your lobbying targets? And who are the key stakeholders you need to cooperate with in order to lobby and in order to make the change happen?
The other is to raise awareness among those who've never heard about gender issues or have never paid attention to women's rights issues because they come from a very different background and because their work is something totally different. So we want to raise awareness among them, and that's why we not only do kind of internal events or events that are more conversations with each other, but we also do events and publications and happenings that are targeting the outside.
In my perspective, from a feminist point of view, the UNFCCC is doomed to failure. And the reason that it's doomed to failure is because it's based on a top-down patriarchal model. And when I say that, what I mean is that it's male-dominated. It's predominantly men who are making these decisions. The women who are there are allowed to be there because they are enablers who are not truly challenging anything. It's not participatory. People involved in NGOs, organizations, and indigenous peoples organizations trying to make a difference there are largely marginalized and excluded from the conversation. It's driven by money. It's dominated by and caters to business. And it's very much imperialist and colonialist.
The session is on market-based mechanisms, and again, we'd like to engage in conversation and reflection so that we come out of this with increased knowledge, increased ideas, and increased confidence to discuss these things.
What's best? Should we adapt women and their needs and their rights to the economy, or do we need to adapt the economy to women? The big question we should ask in this whole climate regime, all these issues that are on the negotiating table, is will this, increase existing injustices?
For us, an important objective is to translate the technical language of the UNFCCC process into a language which is understandable for people on national or local level, and to translate the meanings behind these mechanisms and plans and programs. For us, it's at least as important to translate the voices of women, their concerns, their recommendations or demands into the language of the UNFCCC again.
Especially for a network with women that come from all parts of the world, of course you have to be patient and to learn from each other.
And the whole idea of market-based approaches is, the environment is being destroyed because it doesn't have a monetary value. It's just not adapted to our economy. Maybe we could adapt the economy to the environment. And also here, that sounds like revolution.